just to say, stand as a prey, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, gave way for the land of free. In the
You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Happy Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. Hope you be safe in all your travels, whatever you do, wherever you go. Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Have you seen this post on Facebook for this mascara, this unique mascara?
No, I have not.
Okay, well.
But if you're serious about fighting wrinkles, that's what my computer is talking about right now. Anyway.
I am serious about fighting wrinkles. I am every beauty marketer's dream, because when they pitch something and they say that it's going to do this, that, the other, I believe them. Well, there's this product that I've been seeing a lot of people share on Facebook. It's $35 for mascara, and it's actually like there's like two mascara tubes. One is the gel primer, and then the other one is these fibers. It's like 3D fiber lash mascara or something like that. Okay.
You paid $35 for mascara?
I paid $35 for mascara, but there was a charity. The woman that was selling this, she had a charity associated with it for ALS. So I was like,
so wait, how much of your $35 went to ALS?
I don't know.
Like 25 cents? So you paid $24.75 for this mascara.
Right. So I'm wearing it right now. I gotta say, it could be user error, but I've noticed a little bit of a difference, but not as much as when I go to Body Beautiful Day Spa and I get the fake eyelashes put on. But I did find on Pinterest, and if it's on Pinterest, it's got to be real. If you put Vaseline on your eyelashes at night, it'll help them to grow longer and stronger. So I'm going to try that. And if anybody else has some eyelash tips, definitely share them with us on the Facebook page, because eyelashes make me crazy.
Okay, putting Vaseline on your eye before you go to bed just sounds like it could be a nightmare when you wake up. You know what I mean? Like your eyes would be all goopy and...
Vaseline anywhere in the bedroom sounds fun to me, but whatever. What do I know? I'm just a man.
And we have James running the board today.
No limits. Anything can be said at any time. There's no boundaries to the conversation. But yeah, here's one thing that I think would be helpful, since we have a makeup expert that's going to be with us on the 13th,
yes.
Ron Titone. I am definitely going to bring it in then, because I'm completely open to the possibility that it could be user error. You know those little like mascara eyelash curler thingies?
Yeah, I don't use those.
Because do you pinch your eye with it?
I don't even know if I've ever tried it. I mean, it just looks painful.
It is. And again, this could be user error, because every time I've tried to use that little thing, I end up getting my eyelids all up in there.
Up in there.
So
I'm surprised you used it again, because, you know, we had a function on Thursday and you were complaining about this product because you felt like you had something in your eye. So you're still using it.
You know, yeah. Because I've seen the pictures of people that have used it and it worked for them. So I'm convinced that I'm doing it wrong.
Have you seen pictures of like models that look flawless?
No, these are real people.
Oh, okay, but there's still the thing called Photoshop.
That's true.
It doesn't mean that that picture is really how well they look from the product.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I've seen, okay, so Sky,
Mhm.
she's got, which is my 17-year-old daughter, she has pretty long eyelashes, and on her, it works phenomenally. So I think you have to have some eyelash. Phenomenally? Phenomenally? Don't take me for granted.
Phenomenally.
Is that with an F?
We don't know.
Let's be frank.
Why don't you try to spell that?
It works well.
There you go.
Do you do that when you're trying to like post something on Facebook or you're texting somebody and you realize that you don't know how to spell the word correctly?
Yeah.
So then you just kind of back it up, beep, 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 beep.
And wait
And
for
then-
the spell check to get it right?
Oh no, I completely rewrite it.
Oh no, I just keep trying for the spell check, and then I know if no words come up, I'm really off. Because it's like, you are so messed up, the computer doesn't even know what you're trying to say. So
Like-
then you have to go back even more and start all over. Okay, I know it starts with a P, so I can go that far. But yeah, I do that.
You do that?
I do that.
Well, today we've got two really great guests that are going to be on the show. We've got Joseph P. Anthony. He's going to help navigate the stars with us. He is a psychic astrologer. He's got some really cool things. I've met Joseph Anthony several times. I've heard him speak, and it completely blew me away. So I'm really excited to talk to him today. He's going to be on at the 10 o'clock hour. And then we have a guest that has interviewed many stars, Danielle Williams. She'll be in studio with us to tell us about an upcoming charity event. But before any of that can happen, we have, dun dun dun, the WWW. I feel like I need some dramatic music, some like
Like some star.
dun dun dun. Like that. All right, the WWW. This is where Michelle goes out to the web and she finds the stories that are wild, wonderful, and weird. And she has outdone herself today. What do you have for us?
Well, do you want to start with grandmas and grandpas? Because you know I like talking about grandmas.
What's the deal with grandmas?
I don't know, because you can always find something about old people.
Is it that you're like ready to be a grandma?
No,
like, are you identifying
no,
with? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Did you know that Florida is considered God's waiting room?
God's waiting room.
'Cause that's where all the old people
That's horrible.
Oh, that is horrible. I thought that was Sun City.
All right. So what do you have for us?
All right.
For the grannies.
Do you want a wonderful grandmother story, or do you want a absurd, wacky, almost criminal grandfather story?
Ooh, let's start out with the criminal grandfather and then know that we've got a feel good right around the corner.
Okay, so everyone knows the whole big ice bucket challenge that's going on for ALS.
Yes?
And a grandfather in Houston, Texas, decided to include his 10-month-old granddaughter in the ALS bucket challenge.
Okay.
So
That
he had
doesn't
been-
sound like a bad thing.
Well,
How did he include the 10-month-old?
He poured a gallon of ice cold water on the 10-month-old child.
What?
Yeah. So Reggie Stewart, bless his heart, in Houston, Texas, tried to include his granddaughter, but the police are saying no. He hasn't officially been charged, but CPS, Child Welfare, has been called to investigate.
You are completely missing the point of the ice bucket challenge. Like when you said that he included the 10-month-old, I thought maybe he had the 10-month-old throw ice on him or something like that. The ice bucket challenge is not about pouring water on somebody else. It's pouring it on yourself.
Well, he called her out and dumped water on her.
That's horrible.
And I don't know what your kids were like at 10 months, but I don't think my 10-month-old kids could drop a bucket of ice water on
No, but they
me.
could have thrown ice on you.
You have some superhero children.
All right, maybe not 10 months old.
Anyway, so yeah, Reggie Stewart in Texas, you know, they're a little crazy over there. But on the bright side, we have a grandmother, Tana, she's in Utah, Tana Bomeyer, I will pronounce her last name, and if I said that wrong, I'm sorry. Anyway, she is 59. She was on the way to Yellowstone National Park for a family vacation with her and her husband and 2 granddaughters. The kids are 4 and 7. She was going 95 in a 75-mile-per-hour zone.
Go speed racer, Granny.
Right? And she was pulled over
Of course.
And the it was Idaho. Excuse me. Idaho State Police.
Idaho.
It's Idaho. Idaho. Pulled her over and gave her a ticket, said that she was very, very nice. He was very nice to the grandchildren, gave them stickers. She sent a letter. She got a $150 speeding ticket. She sent a letter when she sent her payment that said, "Dear Idaho State Police, recently I was on vacation with my grandchildren, was pulled over for speeding. Officer Mike Nielsen made a good experience for my grandchildren by talking with them calmly and giving them stickers. He didn't leave me out, and I got my very own sticker shock. Thanks for the great attitude." So I thought it was nice that she appreciated the fact that she did something wrong.
Yep.
And that was her consequence for it.
Great lesson for the kids.
That's right.
Great way that she handled it.
That's right.
Maybe Ferguson could recruit him as a police officer.
Not all police are bad.
I know.
95% of them. No, I'm just kidding. 95% are, but there's still some. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about bacon.
Bacon.
Here's a weird story.
Chicks making bacon.
But it does have to do with bacon, so I had to do this.
Which we love because we have a show that we do when we feel like it.
On Sundays. It's just been a scheduling conflict lately.
Yes.
But this is out of Utah. Utah woman accused of using a pound of bacon to start a fire in her ex-boyfriend's house will stand trial for arson charges. Cameo Adon Crispy. She's 32.
What a last name, Crispy.
Crispy, and she lit up bacon on fire. I bet that bacon was crispy.
I bet it was.
But yeah, she texted her former boyfriend and repeatedly called him and said that she had left bacon over a lit burner and tried to burn his house down.
You know what I love
bacon.
about... Okay, so what I love about this story, there's a wood stove.
Yeah.
They found hot coals on the floor around an open wood stove.
Yeah.
Who has a wood stove? Like,
Well,
I'm just curious about their lives. Like, who are they?
well, I'm curious as to how bacon equals arson, because I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, if she really wanted to light this on fire, you'd think she'd use something besides bacon.
Right. And do you know how many times I have caught stuff on fire? I am, like, lost in the kitchen. Thank God I have never been charged for arson. Maybe I have.
Next time we make bacon, I might call the cops on you.
There you go.
All right, so here's a wonderful story, because we always like the wonderful stuff. After 24 years, children reunite their father with a beloved Mustang. So I just thought this was a wonderful story. Richard Lookbill sold his 1972 Ford Mustang 24 years ago. And he sold it because he had to make sure that his kids were taken care of, is basically. So I'm sure they were going through financial problems,
Sure.
and he sold it. So his children found the car on an eBay auction, purchased the car, and had it delivered to their father in Indiana.
So it wasn't a car like his, but it was the car.
It was the car.
It was the
They
car.
found the exact car, and it happened to be on sale on eBay, and they purchased it and delivered it to him. The one child said, "Our father gave us everything when we were kids, so we want to do something for him now that we are older to show him how much we appreciate him."
That's an old car.
That's an old car, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That they could find that car.
Yeah, that is. It's a pretty cool looking car. We'll have to share the link on the Facebook
It
page
is
for
a cool
everybody.
looking car.
Yep.
Well, now what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about NFL or Applebee's?
Let's talk about football. I am so excited for football.
I know. And did you know anything about this story before
I did
posted
not
this?
know anything about this.
So everybody knows that football is starting, and everybody knows that when it comes to the referees, they are all male.
Right.
Well, that could change at any point because Sarah Thomas has actually, she is up next for the next open spot in the NFL referees. Sarah Thomas, for 16 years, she has officiated college football, high school, grade school. I think you kind of start out grade school, high school football, or college. And did you know they have like scouts? They have referee scouts.
Really?
Yeah, and someone had contacted one of these scouts and said, "There's someone you need to check out." And he said, "What's his name?" And the guy said, "Well, his name is Sarah." And oh yeah, it's a lady. It's a girl. So anyway, so yeah, she's a Mississippi native. She's one of the 21 finalists in the NFL officiating development program. She's a top contender for the next available spot.
There's a program?
Yes.
Like, is there referee school?
There is. It actually it takes a long time to become a
Really?
professional. Yes.
Well, she's been officiating for 16 years.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so she is also a mom. She has 2 sons, ages 12 and 9, and a 7-month-old daughter.
And just so you guys know, there's going to be an all-women's sports show called We Need to Talk. No men on it.
Really?
All the hosts are going to be female, yes.
Here on Vets on Media?
No, it's on CBS. But we'd like to do that, but you know, our host would have brains, so you know what I mean? We're better than the other. I'm saying we're better than the other networks out there. That's what I'm saying.
Are you? Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, you're going to take us down the road. That go ahead.
When you say our host would have brains, meaning they would be women with brains,
I mean that all our hosts have brains.
Okay, okay. And the women that are on that show don't have brains?
Yeah,
because they're women, or
because they're with CBS.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm making a dig at the other, you know.
Okay, I got it. I didn't know where you were going.
You know, it's
because you don't usually make those like
digs
to women.
I know I don't.
Yeah.
And it was just like when you see someone make an incorrect statement and then you call them out on it, you know, and then they delete you or get mad at you.
Oh, did that happen to you?
Yeah, Rick Domingo from Channel 10. Because he said something wrong and I called him on it. He said Jay Lawrence, a good friend of mine. He's like, oh, he lost. And I'm like, no, he didn't. I was like, he won. He won his election. And so they got mad. He got mad and deleted me again. Whatever, dude.
People are so touchy in social media. Unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm like, all I said was, hey, you need to make a correction. He didn't lose, and that was it.
Wow.
So.
Well, speaking of social media, you know, every once in a while, someone does something on Facebook. It's not necessarily the smartest thing to do.
Correct.
One Florida mother's Facebook status didn't go over so well, and her son, who is in kindergarten, he's 4. He's in preschool. He now, I don't want to say he's expelled, but he kind of is. They've asked him to not be enrolled there anymore. Ashley Habit recently complained on Facebook after the Sunshine Christian Academy didn't give enough notice about Picture Day. So she posted, why is it that every single day there is something new I dislike about Will's school? So now she's not the smartest mother, because even though her profile page is private,
she tagged them.
She tagged them in it.
What are you thinking?
So the letter of dismissal given to her said, and a quote, it called into question not only integrity, but the intelligence. Her post had called into question not only the integrity of the school, but the intelligence of our staff. These actions are consistent with discord, which is spoken of in the handbook that you signed. So there's a big debate, though, because this is a Christian academy. So it's kind of like, aren't you supposed to teach people about forgiveness and things like that? So they're saying it was a little harsh. Maybe a warning first, because it is a Christian academy. You are supposed to, you know, forgive people. It's Christian. But no, they said just get rid of the kid. So the kid said, the kid is like,
in the name of Jesus, I banish you. Hallelujah.
Well, I played devil's advocate on this one.
Hey, Michelle, don't take that for granted, okay? Okay.
It's great to have the Jew on the mic doing the Christian God's voice. Thank you for that. Okay.
Whoa. What? Because the Christian's God isn't the Jewish God?
Is it? Aren't they? No, because... Hold on a second.
And God said,
if it was... Okay, hold on a second. We're gonna derail the conversation from Facebook and preschool and what not to post, because Christina needs a theology lesson here. Help me out. Okay. If it's the same God, Jews and Christians don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. So
they do not believe that Jesus was the Savior, the Messiah.
Right. But they believe that the same God is...
Jesus did exist. He's just not the Messiah.
Okay. But if they don't agree Jesus was the Son of God, then how can they agree on the same God?
They do agree on the
same
God.
They do agree on the same God. They just don't agree on Jesus. All right. Well, thank you.
I am correct. Correct. Let's speak to the Jewish official
here.
Here.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Now, some religions, like the Mormon religion, will pray for Jews, that those soul will get into heaven after they die.
Well, the Mormon religion's just got all those like layers. Like,
Yeah.
Well, but understand the Mormons believe, and so do the majority of Christian-based religions, that if you do not accept Jesus as the Savior, you will not get to heaven.
right.
So the Mormons then pray for the Jews because they do not believe that Jesus is the Savior. So they feel they need to pray for them so that they can get to heaven. The Jewish
Interesting.
religion is still waiting for a Messiah.
Right,
They're still
right,
waiting for their
right.
Messiah.
I just didn't realize that they had the same God. This has been a really enlightening conversation.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay.
You know, I got to remind you, this reminds me of a story. I work with this girl, and she's the sweetest thing ever, okay? And her name is Marguerite. Marguerite, if you're listening, please don't be upset about this, but the story just cracks me up. So we have Marguerite, who I don't know if she goes to church or not. I believe she does. But we also have another girl that works there who is Jewish. So Marguerite is telling this story, and she's telling everyone that she was praying. And then on a side note, she says to Amy, "I'm sorry, Amy. I hope that doesn't offend you." And Amy's like, "Why would it offend me?" And she goes, "Well, I was talking about God and praying, and I know you're Jewish." And Amy's like, "I pray."
Okay.
So anyway.
So now that we've gotten clear who believes in what God and
Yeah.
Okay. So moving back to your story about preschool and this post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Regardless of it being a Christian school and Christian values, I think the mom signed and agreed to some handbook, which I would imagine she probably didn't read everything that she signed.
Do any of us?
No. I mean, first day of school, like our kids just started school. How much of that stuff do you read?
Right.
No, you're just, okay, sign, fine, okay, yeah.
Right.
So I think it's her own fault.
Don't you think it's a little bit much, like to expel the kid for her behavior? I mean, it's not really.
It's obvious that the
kid's
school's
fault.
not a good fit for them.
Well, that's true.
So now that close that door, move on to another school, done.
And do not tag people that you're talking about unless you want them to see it. Maybe
Exactly.
she didn't know that's how it worked.
Maybe she needs, well, now she knows.
Now she knows.
Facebook 101. Lesson learned.
Amen.
Amen. All right. So we have time for one more, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can either talk about 6 things that will cause you to get fired, or would you like to talk about the carbon monoxide at Applebee's? Because I thought this was kind of funny.
Well, since my daughter works as a hostess at Applebee's,
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued about this Applebee's story.
Okay. Well, this wasn't here in Arizona.
Okay, good.
It was actually in Long Island. And 2 EMTs decided to go have dinner at Applebee's. When they walked in, their carbon monoxide detector went off. And they thought maybe it was an error, so they walked out. You know, they checked to make sure the batteries were, you know, good and whatever. Went back in, and it still went off again. So they cleared the restaurant. And just to give you an idea, the average carbon monoxide level in a home is between 0.5 ppm and 5 ppm, whatever ppm is. The levels in the restaurant ranged from 80 ppm to 250 ppm. So it was actually high enough to cause, death,
Wow.
deadly consequences.
That's crazy.
Well, it is crazy because if they wouldn't have gone in there, what they're saying is there probably would have been deaths from this because who knows how long it would have gone on.
Unbelievable.
So,
Do you have a carbon monoxide detector in your home?
no.
Fire detectors?
ppm is parts per million, by the way.
Parts
Thank you.
per million.
Correct.
Gosh, we are just learning so much about God and
God and ppms and
there is no limits to the knowledge here.
and taking stuff for granted.
That's right. And I want to let you guys know that every time someone likes No Limits and shares it with a friend, I burn down an Applebee's. I'm just going to let you know that right now. I'm kidding. I say that. People give me the weirdest look. Sorry.
Well, this one was about ready to go up in flames, so I would start with that one.
Right.
Well, I recommend everyone have a carbon monoxide detector in their home and fire detectors. And go ahead and, this weekend, it's Labor Day weekend, go ahead and check all your batteries. Having had a home that burned to the ground, yes, burned to the ground, lost everything in my home.
Not to interrupt you, but were you cooking?
I was not cooking. I wasn't even there.
Oh.
I wasn't even there.
Oh.
A girlfriend of mine.
Hey, honey, there's bacon on the stove. I know you're in bed asleep.
No. I'm going to make a long story short. three girlfriends and I were renting a home, and all of us were out. One girl was there by herself. Her boyfriend blew her off and didn't pick her up, so she stayed home, drank several cases of beer to herself, had a candle burning on the floor, threw the blanket onto the floor. It started on fire. The whole house caught on fire. She made it out okay. Her dog did not. So yeah, it was really sad. I was working as a cocktail waitress at Rock and Rodeo at the time, and when I pulled up in my '66 Porsche, wearing a cowboy hat, little half top, little short skirt, cowboy boots, one of the firemen said, "Is that your house?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what you're wearing there? That car is all you own." And I was like, "Damn! I should have had a shot before I came home. I should have had clothes with me." I was like, there was a lot of skin exposed. Anyway, check your fire detector.
Or don't put a candle on the ground. That's probably a really good lesson too.
Yeah.
Maybe the smartest thing.
That is a good lesson too.
So speaking of smart, we have a minute here. We have a minute before break days.
We have, you got about a minute.
Okay, so let's real quick go over 6 things. We're speaking of fire, so 6 things that will get you fired. Okay, unreliability. If you're late even once a month, you're probably seen as unreliable. Fair or not, it is the truth. Bosses like people who they can set their watch to.
But isn't time really relative? No.
Not at the workforce. 2, you ask for constant direction and need clarification to ridiculous degrees. So bosses like self-starters, people who can figure things out. So they do not like people who need constant direction or hand-holding to get things done. I would agree with that.
Can I go to the bathroom now?
No.
Haven't you seen that Saturday Night Live skit?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'll have to watch
This one reminded me of it.
You do bare minimum and say that's not my job. So people who truly succeed are people who see problems and solve them. Those who are constantly saying that's not my job and leave it to someone else are seen as bare minimum performers.
That drives me crazy.
Drives me nuts too. I would agree with that. You have constant family or personal problems. Family is important, and we're not advocating work always trump them. However, everybody has a life outside of work and has a family. So if you are constantly having issues from the outside being brought in, it's not a good thing.
Leave it at home.
That's right. You gossip or badmouth a company, I think this is a no-brainer. So when you're on Facebook talking about your boss, make sure that you don't tag him.
We know one mom that probably wouldn't get that.
Probably not. And speaking of Facebook, you post or like on Facebook from work. So the internet has become ingrained in our lives and our heads. You're probably reading this at work. I thought that was pretty funny. But the reality is don't do things that don't be stupid enough to put your name and a place where they're time-stamped. So,
unless, of course, you use social media in your job. Like if you're using social media for your job, which, with this one, I think more and more companies would be wise to understand that there is a way that you could encourage all of your employees to use social media, not play on social media, but use social media.
Yeah, there's a difference between,
right,
posting just random things about your weekend versus, talking about work. So that's different. So anyway, if you want to keep your job, today's economy, don't do one of those 6 things.
Amen.
Amen. So we need to take a break.
We do, and when we get back, we are going to have Joseph Anthony. He's joining us from Sedona.
So we'll be back.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
Would you like to share your military knowledge and experience with other service members and help them achieve their goals? Hey everybody, it's James from Vets On. You can do just that by becoming a military student enrollment advisor with the University of Phoenix at their Phoenix, Arizona campus. Military student enrollment advisors work with prospective students who have chosen to serve their country just like you. You'll be helping them enroll, choose a degree program, and guide them through their first class. To qualify for this great opportunity, you need a valid DD-214, military ID card from the National Guard or Reserves, a bachelor's degree, or 60 college credits. Military spouses are also eligible with current DoD ID card and a bachelor's degree. If you're looking for a great career while helping fellow military members, then we urge you to contact the University of Phoenix today. Apply now by going to jobs-apollo.com and enter the word Military Enrollment Advisor in the search bar. And don't forget to tell them that Vets On sent you. Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and the staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget, that's on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Do you need an extra push to start your day? Well, then tune in to Addie's Radio. Addie's Radio is a show that explores tough questions in an open and fun forum. The program also engages hard-hitting issues concerning veterans' physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This show airs every Tuesday from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Vets On Media Network. Addie's Radio is hosted by Jesse James, a combat veteran of Afghanistan, so he knows the problems that veterans face every day. Jesse provides you guidance each and every week to be a better you. So tune into yourself each week by tuning into Addie's Radio. Go to vetsonmedia.com for show details.
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
We're live.
Hey, we're back.
Hi, we're back.
We got into this in-depth conversation about religion and
Yeah, it was very
Christina's sins from her past life.
okay, which we don't need to go into.
We won't go
Yes,
into, but
yes.
they're quite interesting, people.
Moving right along.
Yes, because I'm excited about this segment.
I know you are. Okay, and I'm excited about Joseph Anthony. I have had the privilege to see him speak before. And I've been one to, like, I'll check my horoscope from time to time, but I really didn't buy into it so much until I heard him speak, and he went into details about the different signs. And I'm a Sagittarius, and everything that he said and described, I was like, oh my gosh, that is completely me. So Joseph Anthony is a professional psychic astrologer, and he is in Sedona, and we have him on our Google Hangout. Joseph, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Maybe.
I'm here.
He was there.
Can you hear me?
I love technology.
Can you hear us, Joseph?
Yeah, I could hear
He should be
you.
able to because he did have it covered up. He had his screen covered up, and then when he pulled his screen off, he could hear us, or I could hear him.
Maybe he went to go get his angel cards.
I don't know if he
No.
uses angel cards.
No?
Yeah, I don't know.
If we need to, we can call him also and let him know that we were waiting on him.
Or I could have him
hear
call.
you. You guys can't hear me, huh?
Too.
Okay, so I am going to put the phone number so that he can call us. What's interesting is because he's in Sedona, and I knew that we were going to have him join us through the Google Hangout, I had asked him. So as far as like, because there's this like Mercury in retrograde thing, and it seems like whenever technology isn't working, it's Mercury in retrograde. So before signing him, like before booking him to be on the show, I was like, is there any reason that from a technological standpoint, as far as the stars are concerned, that this would be a bad time? So Joseph Anthony, give us a call, 602-399-7787.
I'm trying. Hold on one second.
Tell him if he pulls his thing down, it should work. It was whatever he did before.
Okay, so
can't hear.
pull your. Never mind. Are you there? Are you with us, Joseph?
I'm
I can
here, but
see him.
can you hear me? I can see you, but I can't hear you. You guys can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, great. Well, I'm on the phone with you. Which one is it?
All right. Well, we can hear you, so that's all that matters.
Let me shut off the phone.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We
Yes.
can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you too.
Yay!
Great.
Oh, fantastic. All right.
Yeah,
So
you
thank
gotta
you for
love
joining us
technology.
today on No Limits. I had the privilege of hearing you speak and kind of share with everyone about their signs. And I understand that you are a psychic astrologer. So explain that to our listeners.
Well, I mean, I've always had the intuition and the visions that, ever since I was a kid, I would be able to see things and sense things. And of course, like many others, I didn't make any sense of it. I just thought it was just my imagination. But as I've gotten older, I began to realize that these were premonitions. I was tapping into something that, everyone has. And getting back to your religion discussion, I've realized that whatever the source is, it's an energy field that we're all connected to and is within us. And so what I was basically doing was understanding the language that this source communicates with us, you see, and that's what intuition is, and that's what psychic ability is being able to sense and make sense of the information that comes through. So I use the word psychic because I used to use intuitive, and people wouldn't understand what an intuitive astrologer was, But they all know what a psychic is.
Right.
So I decided to use psychic astrologer.
Well, and I think we all experience those psychic moments. You're driving in the car and you have that feeling of, I know I should go this way and not go that way, and then later you learn that there was an accident there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes? Okay.
Yes. Well, it's like I said, we all have intuition. We all have psychic ability, but unfortunately, no one has ever taught people how to use it. They just, poo-poo it and tell people it's evil and so on and so forth, but it has nothing to do with that. If you understand what reality is, we live in a physical world, but there's other realms of consciousness that we live in simultaneously. And when you tell people that, you're like, uh-oh, you're out there. I'm like, no, this is reality. We all have dreams. We all feel like we're flying at times in our dreams. We all have imaginations, so there must be another level of consciousness that we're not tapping into.
But how much do you use the stars to help guide you in your daily life? Like I see on your website that you've got, different things that are, happening like throughout the month of August. You had, this is a good time for this and this is a good time for that. Do you heavily rely on that?
Well, not heavily, but I do, monitor it and make sure I understand what's going on. You see, Christina, astrology is nothing more than understanding the cycles. That's all it is. What cycles are what cycles are influencing us, because it's a symbolic language. You see, these ancient cultures that created this stuff knew what they were doing. They were great astronomers, or they understood the stars. So when I look at the stars and the planets, I'm getting an idea of the type of energy that's at play. You follow? Through the symbolism. So that's how it works.
So let me ask you this. If you have, say you're talking to two Aries, they're both Aries,
Right.
okay? If you're giving them kind of advice, or I don't know if you call it advice, but if you're looking at what their month, what is in store for them based on the stars, is it going to be the same? Because they're both Aries. So if we're talking about understanding how everything's aligned in the stars, does that mean that all Aries kind of have the same, hey, here's what we're going to look out for this month?
Yes, but it's very general because, different Aries are born on different days, but it's very general. That's what the horoscopes are. When I write the horoscopes, it has to be general because I don't know your time of birth. I don't know your date of birth. So technically, we all have two birth signs. We have the actual day that we're born, the moment we're born, and the place we're born. We have one chart, a natal chart for where all the planets were, and then you have the sun sign astrology, which says this is you under the general sign. You follow? So it has to be general. I have to write them in a general way. But once the person's in front of me and I have their personal information, I'm tuning into them. I could sense things about them. I know what that birthday is all about, the energy that was influencing them. And then I start feeling things and picking up things around them. But I use the astrology and my own intuition to kind of fine tune and get down to the core of what's going on, you see?
And do you have to be physically with that person?
Not at all. I have clients from all over the world. So I get on the phone and they're amazed at what I tell them because, we're thousands of miles away and it doesn't really matter because it's all energy. And so
are you picking up anything around Michelle?
Why do you pick me?
Because you asked the question.
That's true. I did.
Well, I got to ask, is Michelle Italian? Because she likes to use her hands a lot when she talks.
No, I'm not. I'm actually German.
Ah, okay. No, I was just joking because I happen to be Italian, and I get a lot of jokes about your hands must be tired after you talk. But Michelle, look, the bottom line is this: if you understand the symbolism, and I could tell you a little bit basically about Michelle, just by the name, the vibration of the name. Michelle is very sensitive, extremely sensitive, and can be very moody, or has been very moody. She's very critical, very analytical. Okay, I would say maybe she's a Virgo. I don't know, but I'm just guessing there. Virgo, Libra, maybe even a Cancer. But she's extremely analytical. Make any sense, Michelle?
Well, you have my sign wrong, but the rest made sense.
So
Yeah.
maybe she's an
Correct.
Aries because you said that everyone has 2 signs.
Well, everyone has 2 birth charts, But Michelle, when I mentioned those signs, if I was to look at your birth chart, I guarantee you there's something in there in Virgo. There's something in there that's very strong in Cancer, or one of the 3 that I mentioned. So it's very difficult to peg the sun sign because there may be other things in the chart that override that. You understand? The energy is stronger in that other area.
You know what I find interesting about the different signs is that, like, I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm looking at the qualities: mutable, energetic, ambitious, generous, freedom-loving, explorer, open to new ideas. Like, these are all really good things. You don't really see she's cranky, like, why is it that they all of these qualities seem to focus on the positive? Is there a reason for that?
Well, again, that it's very general. When they put down the information for each sign, it's got to be very general because they don't know what day you were born at a time. So if I was to look at your chart, Christina, and I would see why you feel so sensitive or emotional, or things are going on. So this is the sun sign is like 60% of who you are. But then you have to factor in the moon sign, which is all about emotions and feelings, and then all the other signs, you see? So
Okay.
it's 60% sun sign, and then it's like 20% moon sign, and then the rest of the alignments in the birth chart. You follow? So
I do. Joseph,
Go ahead.
last in December, I got engaged, and several people, after finding out that I got engaged, said you should have your chart done to help you determine when you guys should get married. And I found that very peculiar. And I'm wondering if do you agree with that? Do you think that you should use use the stars to help you determine when that wedding date would be? And if so, is that because everything lines up and the day is going to be wonderful, or is it that by picking the right day, it creates the foundation and the success for the marriage?
Well, it does. It's important because when you pick a day or a time frame, it's a snapshot in time. So if the energy is going to be beneficial to both of you, yes, I would advise getting a date set up for a wedding. For instance, I would do weddings if around the new moons, anytime before or after the new moons, depending on which moon. Okay, I would not get married around full moons because full moons bring in a lot of tension. So it's almost as if the energy is influencing the couple that's getting married. So it depends. I mean, a new moon in Libra is always good for weddings because Libra is a sign of marriage, you see. Whereas opposed to a new moon in Aries, maybe that the two people are always traveling or far apart from each other, even though they're married. You see, it's a symbolic language of understanding time frames. So it's always best to understand which time frame would be more beneficial. Now remember, we all have free will. This is not all set in stone, but it's just, it increases the odds. And that's the way we see it as astrologers and psychics. It just increases the odds of a better, connection and situation.
So it sounds like in order for people to really get the most out of astrology, they need to have an in-depth chart done. What are some of the other things that they can learn or gain from doing that with you?
Well, they could understand their emotions. They could understand how they think. They could understand where the obstacles are in their lives. What's holding them back. At times, I will go into past lives because what happens is in this lifetime, we've come back and we're still carrying the luggage from past lives. And sometimes that becomes a block or a blockage. So there's a lot to learn about oneself through astrology, and it's been an amazing tool. So, I would suggest everyone at least get their birth chart with an explanation, and I sell those for like $10. It's not a big deal. Matter of fact, my new website, you'll be able to do it right on the front page as soon as it's done. But, I think everyone should know. Everyone should know more in depth about themselves so they could navigate their own lives better. You see?
I think I've got a past life block because when you said that, I just got this like splitting pain in my head.
What I was going to say is, so basically what he's saying is we all have baggage.
Yes, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Remember, this is not just, we've had other lifetimes. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And we carry around that emotional experience. We carry around those psychological experience, the good, the bad. And we remember the bad ones because they're locked into our emotional body, in a sense, you see. And so if something horrific has happened in a past life, the chances are we're going to relive it so we could overcome it. You follow? So it's important to look back there as well, to see what traumatic experience had taken place in one's life to overcome it. Make sense?
It does.
So
Yeah.
you can determine what traumatic experience I had in a previous life?
Yes, I could tune into you as I'm sitting there with the person, and I look at a birth chart. I could see, because in the birth chart there are three houses or three constellations that represent doorways to the past. You see, so it's again, like I said, it's a symbolic language. You have to look at astrology as a symbolic language of time or cycles. And so when I look at a birth chart and I'm tuning in, I can sense what experiences you've had in this lifetime and even in a previous lifetime, because I will start to sense the era that it was in. You see?
Really? So when you've done this before, like how far back have people gone? And do they have multiple past lives?
Absolutely. Everyone has multiple past lives. It depends. Sometimes I see the years that a client has been, that they had the most traumatic experience. It depends on what time frame, because sometimes I've been pulled back into the sort of Stone Age. It doesn't happen too often, but the Renaissance age or the Inquisitions. I mean, it depends on the time frame. I just feel like I'm in that era. You see, and then I'll know, and then things will start popping up, and I'll start getting feelings about where I've been or what's happening. You see?
Okay, and you can do that with someone remotely. They don't have to be in front of you.
Yes.
That's fascinating. I totally want to have that done.
Well, when you're ready. So.
Now, I also see that you've got business solutions. So how can you help a business?
Well, the same thing. Cycles influence businesses. So if someone is about to start a business, I could absolutely help guide them and understand what cycle is better to start a business. And then, of course, the birth chart is reinterpreted in a different way. Instead of in a personal level, it's different areas of the business, like employees, payroll, resources, location of business, and all of that. So it works the same. It's just the interpretation is different. And of course, I have the owner's birth chart in front of me, and I talk to them, and I get to see what the dynamics are, and does this business fit this person? Is this the right fit for them? You see? And then navigating the time to start the business, because that's very important too. It's because that's, again, the foundation from which you're working from. So it works the same way with business. It works the same way in other areas as well. So this is such an important area to just basically understand. I'm not suggesting everyone become an astrologer, because it's a little tedious, and it takes a sort of a technical skill as well. But at least understand the cycles that are influencing us on a daily basis. Make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense. Now that we're going into October, what are some things that we should know going into October?
Well, the first thing that I want to share with you and your audience is that, as you could tell, the last 4 or 5 years we've undergone major changes in our society, major changes in our thinking, major changes in our economy, and so on and so forth. And these are the outer planets, Pluto and Uranus, that have been doing all of this, or symbolically showing us that there's a lot of change in play. Going into this fall, we have another alignment between Pluto and Uranus, which is going to be like late November into December. So what we've got is we're in a sort of transformational period right now, with October being a really big high point. There's a solar eclipse coming in Scorpio on October 23rd. So what this means is there's another transformational experience or something else that comes up that will change our way of looking at the world in some way. Make sense?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
Okay, so it'll change our way of looking at the world.
Yes, well, I don't know how much you know about what's really going on behind the scenes. I mean, you realize our economy is not the greatest right now. You ladies realize that?
Right.
And it's tough to find a job and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So what's really happening behind the scenes is the monetary system is changing. And so not a lot of people talk about it unless you investigate it. But the whole monetary system is changing, especially the last 2 years. So Scorpio also represents monetary, money and funding and so on and so forth. So I'm going to say here that look for something else that's going to change to our monetary system, you see. And it could be anything from like the Federal Reserve deciding to print more money, or inflation kicking in, or a new monetary system. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of the BRICS nations. Have you heard about the BRICS nations?
No, what is that?
BRICS is just BRICS, and it stands for Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa. These countries have gotten together to create their own world currency. You see, this is big news, because the dollar is used around the world as a reserve currency. In other words, you have to buy oil with the dollar around the world, no matter what country you are. And these countries are basically saying, nope, we don't want to use the dollar anymore. So they've created their own currency, you see. And this has been going on now for about a year. And I've been following it, a lot of others have. But what I'm saying here is that is going to affect our dollar in some way, you see.
Good or bad?
It seems like that.
Well, you want me to sugarcoat it a little bit, or just give it to you straight?
No,
straight.
This is no limits.
No limits. Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, it's not that great, because the dollar will lose its value and it cause inflation. Have you noticed food prices going up?
Right.
Okay, and that's the effect. That's the side effect, is that food prices go up and your money can't buy as much. So this is something we have to watch, and I'm suggesting, and I posted something on Facebook yesterday about Nasara, and I would suggest people just listen to it and investigate it for themselves. There may be a new system coming out that involves getting rid of the IRS and the Federal Reserve and some of this other stuff. And I know it sounds crazy until you research it, which I'm very much in favor for. But anyway, that's another story. Okay. But look for some major news, and this is amazing, Christina, because you see, you're a Sagittarius. Sagittarians have very good visionary ability, and you're already sensing something about October, are you not?
Yes.
You see, so that is going to be very important, because I kept sensing, not just from the astrology, but sensing intuitively, that September and October were going to be very important months. Okay, either there's going to be an energetic shift, or there's going to be something new that comes into play, and I think it's going to be a monetary system or a monetary change of some sort. Let's see what happens. Okay,
Okay.
in the next
So
2 months.
that'll be one to watch. The link that you shared on your Facebook page, is it okay if we go ahead and share that with our listeners?
Go right ahead. It says
Okay.
Nasara, coming, what is it, September 9th, 2014. Let's see if it happens. I mean, everything on social media is speculation until you investigate or it actually happens.
Sure.
So,
Any other things that you're wanting to share with our listeners?
sure. The one big thing I want to advocate to everyone, and I tell this to all my clients, we are in a major transformational experience right now. We're going into another sort of realm of consciousness. And what I mean by consciousness is awareness. We're becoming more, or we're realizing more about who we are, which is spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we cannot live the same way we've been living, in the sense that, depending on jobs and money and stuff like that. We are coming into an era where we're awakening our consciousness. And so everything we've been taught is changing, our belief system, our ideas. Be flexible and adapt, and don't project any fear. You see, that's the key. Fear is a low vibration. Fear keeps us locked in. So don't do that, because if you've ever heard a near-death experience person, and I have quite a few friends that have had that, they realize that we're loving spiritual beings when we cross over and we leave our bodies, you see? So that's who we are in physical form. You follow?
I do.
So we need to understand that we are changing our worldview, in a sense, and we're becoming more aware of everything. So don't be afraid of any of this, and just keep going and do the best you can. So I just tell this to everybody. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a presentation up in Sedona in October with a couple of well-known people, and I'm going to be talking about all this stuff. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I love that. Be flexible and adapt. I think
Yes.
that is awesome. For people that typically tend, you said fear is a lower frequency. Do you think that people who tend to say, I always have bad luck, do you think that that's because of the energy and the frequency that they're in?
Yes, and it's also their perception of reality. They're doubting themselves and their decisions. So what happens is they create their own uncertainty and insecurity. Okay? And this is very common. Most people, because they don't understand who they are or the power that they really have. Here's a little secret. What I've discovered is that we are very powerful spiritual beings, and we manifest everything. We literally, on a subconscious level or on a conscious level, we create our reality. And so if you're going to sit there and go, I'm not sure, maybe, then don't do anything and don't think, because you're just going to project more of that.
I love that you mentioned that, because I have to say, the more that I have become aware of this, the more that I have manifested. Like, it is crazy. I will think about something or someone, talk about wanting something to take place, and then instantly things just start to happen. It's just crazy.
Yes. Well, the benefit of all this new energy that's coming in, and the shifting energy, from the galactic center, is that we're going to be manifesting a lot more, and we're going to be able to see more, and we're going to be able to sense more. Okay? And to those that understand this, they'll be fine, but those people that don't understand it will kind of have like a schism and kind of a breakdown, and we see that in society. Robin Williams is a perfect example of that. Loved that man. Everybody loved him, but you could see the sensitivity and the pressure of, the uncertainty of what was going on in his world, and not having a direction anymore. He wound up doing something impulsively and taking his own life.
Sure.
You see? So
Yep.
We're going to see this in society even more if people don't understand who they are and what's going on. You see? So,
Awesome. Joseph, I really appreciate you taking so much of your time to share with us your insight, and it's always great to hear your voice and connect with you.
well, thank you, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And I want to let everyone know, go to his website, Joseph P. Anthony. He's on every social media site. You can connect with him and get your chart done. So thank you again so much, Joseph. I really appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
too, Joseph. Thank you.
And when we come back, we've been talking about stars, and up next we are going to have someone that has interviewed many stars, and she's got some pretty exciting things to share with us. So Danielle Williams will be with us when we come back. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just like a couple minutes. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
Would you like to share your military knowledge and experience with other service members and help them achieve their goals? Hey everybody, it's James from Vets On. You can do just that by becoming a military student enrollment advisor with the University of Phoenix at their Phoenix, Arizona campus. Military student enrollment advisors work with prospective students who have chosen to serve their country just like you. You'll be helping them enroll, choose a degree program, and guide them through their first class. To qualify for this great opportunity, you need a valid DD-214, military ID card from the National Guard or Reserves, a bachelor's degree, or 60 college credits. Military spouses are also eligible with current DoD ID card and a bachelor's degree. If you're looking for a great career while helping fellow military members, then we urge you to contact the University of Phoenix today. Apply now by going to jobs-apollo.com and enter the word Military Enrollment Advisor in the search bar. And don't forget to tell them that Vets On sent you.
Breaker, 1-9. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Hey everyone, it's Adam from Vets On. Are you or someone you know looking for employment? Then look no further than iVetX. iVetX is placing veterans with the right hiring companies. Join their mission in putting veterans in inspiring careers with ensured success. Access their national pipeline of military talent for companies. All veterans are pre-screened for 55 soft skill sets, 800 clarification types, education, experience, salary range, and so much more. iVetX can help you find the perfect job to veteran match. Your skills are based on what's needed for success in that job.
You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets On Media Network.
All right, so we've gone from talking about the stars to talking to a star. Danielle Williams.
I'm a star.
You are a
You're
star.
the diva for sure.
I'm trying to be. It's a hard life to live up to sometimes, but I'm trying.
Danielle is one of my one of the women that's part of Arizona Women in Media.
Right.
We met several years ago, both of us in radio.
Time
Yeah,
went by so fast.
it
And
has.
so much has happened.
You know, I got to tell you, I finally took the time to take all of my video clips from Celebrity Fight Night and put them on one website.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
cool montage.
Yeah.
Good memories, isn't it?
It
When you realize
was. Oh my gosh.
all the people you had a chance to talk to and the
Yep.
experiences and
Yep.
the gowns you got to wear.
Oh, so gorgeous. Yeah. What was
Fun.
funny, we were talking in the last segment about manifesting,
Mhm.
and the weekend that I was putting up those videos, right after that, somebody sent me a message and invited me to be on the red carpet and do some interviews. And I was like,
See?
look at that.
The power of social media.
Manifesting.
Yep.
Manifesting.
That's good.
All right. So Miss Diva.
Yes.
Not only is she a great communicator, I love every time that you're on that local TV show.
Oh, AZTV, Cable 13.
You are an amazing entertainer when you're on there, and you're also a pretty funny lady. I mean,
we have a good time.
You are pretty funny. I mean, comedy.
Oh, with comedy, yeah. Well, comedy. On the show, I have a really good time with the people on the show, but.
Well, I think because you're a natural-born comedian, like you just see the funny in life.
I have a lot of fun. It's been a great roller coaster ride. People always like, especially my family, they're like, "How did you get into this?" But it's, starting in media with radio in California on air doing entertainment news, and then coming to Phoenix with a job promotion to do entertainment news here for one of the hip hop stations, parlaying it into TV, doing reporting, and then hosting TV shows, and just networking, and eventually writing for a hip hop magazine, Expose, and just offering up my services to people, volunteering for events, and learning and growing as I went along. You make connections, and if you do good work and you're easy to work with, people remember you, and then eventually it's like, yeah, we could use you for this, or we could use you for that, and you just keep yourself visible and mobile and doing all kinds of things. And so for me, because I love doing public speaking or just sharing my journey or story or trying to help out someone whenever I can as far as media is related with that platform, I thought it would just be a natural fit to do stand-up comedy because, one, it helps me with writing. Two, whenever I do have a presentation, I can inject humor into it, and it becomes so much more easy and natural. And then I can also find projects and objects to where people in the audience aren't just listening to me talk, but they become part of the forum. So then it's more interactive, and then that way people like it, they respond well to it, and it feels like, they weren't actually being lectured to or sitting in on something that they had to take part in, but they were part of it. So they're like, oh, I'd want to do that again,
right.
Like that. So I love it. It's been great.
What do you find where do you get your inspiration for the jokes that you write? Because when I went to see you, I always support my friends.
Right, you do.
And when I went to see you, I mean, she was the of comedians.
Yeah.
And she killed it. Like, not only was I proud of her because she's my friend, afterwards I was like, that's my friend, that's my friend. I was like announcing to everybody, Danielle Williams, that is my friend. I mean, she walks out on stage, she's looking just gorgeous, and she opens her mouth, she's smart, she's funny. I mean, it was just amazing.
Well, I try to, for me, because I love being a woman, and I love, wearing dresses and heels and doing my hair and makeup. So when I first started, I really didn't know what I was going to talk about. So I talked to some of my friends who are comedians and who are doing it. And I said, how do you even get started writing? What should I focus on? And they said, number one thing, talk about what you love. Something that you know, something that you appreciate, something you embrace, talk about that. And the one thing that came to mind was my hair, because I love wearing wigs, and I get so excited. It's like a kid in a candy store. When I walk into a hair store, it's like, ah! And, it's like music is playing. I'm running up and down the aisles, and it's like heaven, It is wonderful. So I thought, you know what? I have a lot of wigs. I wear them on different occasions. They set the mood for my outfit. They make me feel a certain way. I name them. Some of them I put them on timeout because they don't act right. They're like my children. So I said, you know what? I'm going to write a bit about my hair. And it started out very slow. And I had, just a few minutes. And then it evolved from, 2 minutes into 6 minutes into pretty much a 10-minute routine of just my hair. And it was great. And I love it. It's like one of the things when people see me, Diva with the wigs, they totally remember. So yeah, I love it.
So I have to ask, because we've all done this as women. You found a pair of shoes that you're like, okay, I don't know what I would wear with that, but I'm buying the shoes, right? I mean, you buy the shoes and then you figure out what you're going to wear with it. I want to know, have you ever seen that wig and you buy the wig and you have no idea what you're going to wear with it?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I'll see a wig online and I'll watch a video because I'll go to the websites, I'll see them online, and I say, now that, I don't know if I can do that. So then I'll go watch a video on YouTube because there's a lot of girls out there that buy them and they'll review. Like, you know what? That's outside of my comfort zone. But then I figure, once I put on some makeup, a certain shirt that might complement the hue of the wig, Then you got your whole outfit on, and it's like, nothing can stop me now, honey. I'm like Kristen Love from the 70s. Let's bring it on. I'm like, come my way. I'm ready for you. It's like, it's fantastic.
I so wish that I had a vault of wigs to turn to, because sometimes I have bad hair days, and I would love that.
And it's just therapy. Like some people, like for me, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't even drink coffee, and I just love, having just natural energy and good times. But then there's days, sometimes you get down, you're not feeling your best, and so what I do? I go to my wigs, and I'll find one. And sometimes, I'm at the house, I don't feel like leaving, I don't even want to like bathe, but sometimes I'll just wash my face, put on some makeup, and then I'll just play with my wig. Sometimes I'll roll them up, or I'll wash them and hang them outside on the line, and my boyfriend will go, "Are you wig outside? You got hairs?" He calls them hairs. "You got hairs on the fence? You got hairs on the fence in the backyard." So I'll hang them out there so they'll dry, and then I'll just put on different wigs, and I'll take some selfies, and I'll be like, "Ooh, now that's kind of cute." And then, it kind of brightens my day, because they're like your kids. They're your friends. They're your go-to. Some people read a book. I grab a wig and go.
It's so funny. Recently, I was watching Last Comic Standing.
I loved it this year.
And I thought this was the first year that I ever saw it.
Oh, okay. I saw the last 2 years ago.
I thought it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Roseanne Barr was talking about how one of the comedians had such a big personality. And I was like, I have a big personality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I'd have to write something funny.
Yeah.
So maybe not. Maybe not.
But I remember you telling me when I first started that, that's something I've always wanted to do. And if it's on your bucket list, go to an open mic, give it a try. You might just it's therapeutic in a way.
I think I'm damn funny.
Yeah, do it.
But I don't know if anybody else would.
I'll support you.
I'll go.
We'll be your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And instead of throwing panties on the stage, we'll throw a wig. We'll be like, "You go, girl. You go."
I was actually saying, but can I borrow one of your wigs so no one knows who I am?
Oh. She's like, "I'm incognito."
Sunglasses, a big wig. But speaking of Last Comic Standing, would you ever do that? Would you ever?
You know what? It's very interesting. Chance to open up for Ada Rodriguez, who was in the top.
She was. And I felt that
I couldn't believe when I was watching it, because when I first saw her, because that was the very first time I had ever heard of Ada Rodriguez. When I saw her step onto the stage, I was like, "Oh, this striking, very attractive, funny, tall, beautiful woman doing her thing, embracing the fact that she's sexy, she's a woman. I'm here. Not only am I gonna, look good, I'm also gonna present a funny show for you."
Exactly.
And when I asked her, I said, "How did you feel when Keenan said, I didn't even pay attention to a word you were saying because I was so distracted by your legs and everything?" She goes, "I thought it was kind of off kilter a little bit. But I respect it, and I understand where he's coming from, because people are there to, listen to your jokes. But at the same time, for me, that's one of the highlights. I'm putting on a show. I'm getting dressed up, just like a guy would shave, get his hair cut, put on a nice fedora, maybe some nice shoes and a tie, or have his own look when he hits the stage. I want to do the same. I don't want to look like everybody else. I don't want to be in jeans and a T-shirt and be funny. I don't want to be, and nothing's wrong with that if that's your thing, but that's not me."
As a person watching it, I felt that her self-confidence completely changed when she did try to.
When she downplayed it, she came out with a black and white dress on. Her hair was pulled back.
her hair was pulled back. I was like, where was that? What happened to that sexy, vibrant, confident woman?
Yeah. So, the jokes are there. You're going to laugh if it's funny, no matter what the person looks like. But if that's who you are, own it.
Exactly.
And do your thing. And that's what I try to do. I put on my high heel shoes. I pick out my outfit. It's a work. I
gotta tell you, I was screaming at you when you had posted. I DVR'd the final episode, and you had posted who won, and I was like,
no.
But I still watched it.
It was so funny, because I was like so excited to see, and it was these really 3 funny people who I'd never heard of before, different styles, and that's what I love about the show. You get to see people in their element, doing funny, but also in a unique, clever way, because not everybody's just going to stand there and say jokes behind a mic. Some people talk slow, some people are super hyper, very animated, some people are very clever in the way they write, and it's very smart, so you have to listen to the jokes. And then there's accents and humor with their voices, and
the the tone, like the pace. I encourage everyone to go Google, not right now, but after the show, Google Rodman.
Yeah.
He was absolutely hilarious.
I liked him a lot.
When are you going to be performing next?
Actually, I have a show tonight at the Comedy Spot, and it's with Isaac Farm, who goes by Doc, and it's called Mars and Venus. And it's just the two of us, and we're each going to do our set, and it's sort of relationships, our take on, life, where we are, a little bit of differences with men and women, and just having fun with the audience. So
and what time is that?
It's at 6 p.m. Tonight. Tickets are $10. So it should be a good show. We've been getting a lot of response on Facebook of people excited to come out.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it'll be my first set where I'm actually doing a full 30 minutes.
How do you feel? Okay, good.
No, I'm really excited because sometimes you get to do 15 minutes or you get to do 10 minutes, and other times you maybe get a stretch of 20 minutes. But this time I'll have a chance to do the full routine and not have to take stuff out or cut things off in order to. So it'll be fun to just have fun with the audience and go for it.
Well, if our football pool is over by then, we'll go.
It'll override everything.
We will be there. If it's over by then, we will be there. Where can people get information about your comedy events and where you'll be at?
You can follow me on Facebook. It's Danielle Comedy Diva. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's the letter D, Comedy Diva. And I also have a website, DanielleWilliamsComedy.com.
And did Perry Collins do that website for you?
No, I had another friend do the website because he had done somebody else's, and it's just very basic.
Okay. Now I know that you have a charity event that you're going to be a part of.
Yeah, I am, and this is really exciting because I used to do some nonprofit work, information outlets with KTAR and Diane's show, and so the lady hit me up on Facebook. Her name's Tamika Carey, and she wanted to know if I wanted to be a part of the AZ Nonprofit Expo. It's the first one this year, and it's going to be at the Salvation Army Kroc Center next Saturday, September 6th, and it's from 10 to 4. It's a free event, and it's just a great way for nonprofit organizations and regular businesses to get together, and they're providing services and resources, and there's going to be information on everything. There's going to be shops, they're going to have free dental screenings, they're going to have people there to help with domestic violence, children's issues, and this is one of the workshops that I'm really plus there's going to be free massages. I was supposed to mention that because
free massages.
Free massages. There's
done.
A couple of the have fundraising strategies, how to build community block watch, social media help, because a lot of organizations aren't up on social media or they don't have someone to help them with social media.
And that's what your workshop is, right? You're presenting the...
Yeah, I'm presenting. One of the workshops that I'm going to do is how to make media connections that get you noticed, how to get nonprofit some TV time or some information posted on a website and to get them free things that they don't even know about, and just to start networking with these individuals in the media so they can start getting some of these resources to publicize their events or the need that they have just to get volunteers and attention drawn to them, because so many nonprofit organizations are under the radar and nobody knows about the things that they're doing, which are really, really good.
And we have some great Arizona nonprofits.
We do.
I'm really excited about this. I love learning about the different organizations that are really doing good here in the Valley. So I'm very excited.
I know. I can't wait. I'm really excited to be a part of it. I think it's going to be the start of something big because it's the first one. And it'll just be a work in progress, but it'll also give people a chance to just kind of see who's out there that they've never heard of.
Yeah. And is the entry free for this?
You can come, hang out, walk around. You can network, see if you can get volunteers, just, get information. So if you are thinking of starting a nonprofit, these are some of the people you can talk to find out how they're doing it.
And, I think for people, in the last segment, we were talking about how tough the economy has been.
Right.
So for people that are out of work right now, what a great way to get out there and, maybe, in your job search, because you can't do that. I mean, job searching is a full-time job, but you can't do that 24/7. And to feel good about yourself and to kind of get out of your own head and your own space, go to this event. Find a local nonprofit, donate a little bit of your time, get involved. You never know what could come out of that.
Where that'll take you. And even if you are currently working, we all have a couple hours a week or a month, to put into something. And a lot of these, Arizona-based charities really help the citizens
Right.
here. So, you know, I mean, we all can
It's
kind of give a
fun.
little bit of time.
Because these people are so passionate about what they do. And when you go there, like, because I volunteered a couple of times at different food banks and like the children's shelters, and it's very emotional, and you just get a chance to see how well your life really is, because there are so many people, young and old, who are just struggling and who have maybe had a decent job and were doing okay, but then something happened, a medical issue wiped them out. And some people don't have family that they can rely on, and so they need the community. They need a helping hand, and so that's, you know, pretty much what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Good tips.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm excited just to see all the people walking around and, you know, introduce myself to people and kind of see who's out there, because, yeah, volunteering's fun. It's great.
Well, and you're such a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Danielle just kind of fills up the room. She does.
Busting in, hair and all.
She does.
Do you know what hair you're wearing to the event?
No,
yet?
I don't, but it's going to be professional because I'm doing a presentation. So, you know, I have to bring out my professional hair.
What would be a not professional hair?
Oh, you mean my, like, play, let's get down hair, my fun girl hair.
I remember one of Raven's events. It was a flashback.
Oh, and it was like the decades when you got to wear, like,
yes.
and I had my
I
afro.
came as like a 70s go-go girl, and you had this
afro. And this wee little short jumper.
I didn't
I was
recognize
like, your
it.
wig was like this.
Oh, yeah.
I was Foxy Brown.
She was
I
Foxy,
had
yes.
glasses, all these bangles on my arm.
Yep.
These earth tone bangles, and I had these big platform shoes and this little, I don't even think I could fit into it now, this little light blue jumper short set. Oh, yeah, we were
I didn't
rocking
recognize
it.
her
We were
at
working
first.
it. Yeah.
She comes walking up. I'm like, this is a striking, gorgeous woman. But with the afro, I was like,
I know, I was like, hey, right on, sister, right on. You're like, who is this? Who is this?
you know, share with our listeners, because you always look great. And I got to tell you, you always make me feel guilty.
Why?
Because I get up in the morning and I see that at 5 a.m. she's already working out.
She's running the lake.
Yes.
She runs the lake every day.
Yeah, the post on Facebook. Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, Diva.
I know. It's just crazy, but it's so funny because I don't do it every day. I try to do at least 4 days a week where I work out. Like, I'll go one day to the gym, then I'll go a day to the lake, and then I'll have a free day. Then I'll go another day and I'll go hike. Then I'll work out again, then I'll have a free day. So it's like, you know, like 2 or 3 days working out, then a day off. Then 2 days on, then a day off.
I think I'm going to stalk her Facebook because I don't see the days off. Like, I see boom, boom.
It seems
Got
so
my
repetitive.
My run around the lake was beautiful today.
And
I'm
it
like,
makes
oh,
me
she
feel
did the
so
run.
good. And sometimes it's like a run, walk. But then you're so happy to be out there because sometimes you see people who are just like you. You know, they're struggling, like, I'm so glad I came out today. And then other times you get a perk, some serious eye candy. A hunky hunk with no shirt on, working it, honey. You're like, I'm so glad I got up this morning. Look at that beautifulness right there. See, that's why you go. You never know what you're going to see. It's beautiful.
Hold on a second. I know you have a boyfriend.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend. I'm saying, honey, this is motivation. This is getting me around the lake. Because all of this is coming home to you. That's why I'm working out. It's motivation. Let the eye candy pass, but let me keep on looking. You know, that's how it is.
Are you chasing the eye candy?
No, I'm running in the opposite direction going, whew. That was good. Got me going an extra mile, child.
So when we see her post and we see it was a beautiful morning, we know
I'm
what that
talking about the sky, girl. I'm talking about some serious flesh that ran right past me. That was all toned, you know, and fit. Just keeps you going. You got to have perks, or else you can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Talking about the beauty of the lake. Look at those ducks. No.
Did you not think she was talking about it's a beautiful morning out? Yeah,
It's completely changed. Yes.
I don't feel so bad sitting at home having my coffee in the morning. I mean, I have a 60-year-old man that walks by every morning. There's my eye candy.
Yeah,
look
there
at
you go.
that
Look at
beautiful
my eye
morning.
candy.
I'm kidding, Christina.
No, but it's good because you
What
never
time
know.
do you go to the lake?
Sometimes I go about 5:30. I would say like 5:20, 5:30 I get there because I try to like get at least halfway started before that sun really comes out. It's like hiking too. Some days you feel so good and you can get it in and it's great, and then other days you're struggling, but you know you want to get to the top, and then here comes somebody down and you're like, oh Lord, thank goodness, and I'm getting to the top right now.
It would have to be like Channing Tatum eye candy to get me to the lake at 5:30 in the morning. Just saying.
Yeah, sometimes
Just
you know
saying.
you have to envision as they're running by. That was Hugh Jackman. There's my Wolverine. My Wolverine is at the lake today. So glad I got up.
Oh my goodness.
And there he goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Danielle.
have to have visions. You have to have little things to keep you going. You have to have
Danielle.
that music in your iPod, and you gotta have just the right song, because sometimes it gets you over that hump.
That is so
Yeah.
true.
Sorry.
Well, I am going to keep that in mind. My daughter and I are running a half marathon
Oh, good.
in December. So,
Wow.
so
the holiday one, like a Christmas run?
it's in
or-
Tucson.
Oh, in Tucson.
So
You can do it.
I've started running again.
Get your music.
Yep.
Envision the finish line.
Exactly.
Shannon Tatum's like, arms open. You did it, girl. Come here. You did it. That's what you got to envision, but it'll be Rob. We know.
Exactly.
It'll be Rob.
I don't know. There's just something if he is like her dream guy, I feel like that's really setting someone up. Like I don't think that.
No,
should
he's
be-
not my dream guy. I just threw that out. That was the first name that came that everyone would know.
Yeah.
Right. No.
I was joking.
No.
No.
No, I'm not a Brad Pitt.
No, I'm not a Brad Pitt
Yeah,
fan either. Now
no.
he has this little thing or
Yeah,
whatever he has.
I was a Brad Pitt about like 15 years ago, but now
When he was super
no.
young, yeah.
Yeah,
was
when he
hot,
was
yeah.
super young.
Yeah.
Well, we do all get old.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm fighting it. No, I refuse. I'm gonna buy a wig. An anti-aging wig. Does it make me look younger? I was like,
Oh, Danielle, you are
could
too
you
much.
imagine? It's
All
like-
right, everybody, go to the Comedy Spot tonight, 6 p.m.
Mars
What are
and
the
Venus, $10 to get in. It's gonna be fun.
and the Comedy Spot is located where?
Third, it's in the Old Town Scottsdale, right there on 3rd Street, down from the gelato spot. You
Okay.
can't miss it.
Awesome. And definitely the Arizona Nonprofit Expo, which is
Yes.
Saturday, September 6th from 10 to 4, free event.
Yeah,
so go
come
check
network,
it out.
hang out, get to know who's in your own backyard.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
yeah,
for joining
thanks
us.
for having me.
All right. Our show is over.
Yes.
Next week, the 6th, we are going to be at the 9/11 run,
Ooh.
Okay.
I believe. That's where we're
Awesome.
going to be. Yes. And then the week after that, we've got a whole show that's all about beauty.
Yes.
We've got fashion, makeup, hair. We got it all.
Yes, we do.
So have a great Labor Day weekend. Be safe out there, everyone. Drive safe. Make good choices. And if you love sports, stay tuned, because up next is JD's Rockin' Sports, and Rob and I are going to be on that show. So this is No Limits. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
At the twilight's light.